Have you ever stared at your notes, trying to study, but nothing seems to stick? You read the same paragraph again and again and still forget it the next morning. Or maybe you study for hours, but somehow your results never reflect your effort. It's frustrating, right? Because deep down, you know you're not lazy. You just don't know what actually works. Here's the truth. Top students don't necessarily study more. They study better. And in today's video, I'll show you how.
These are 4 study techniques used by Harvard students, methods proven by research and used by some of the most successful learners in the world. And the best part? You don't need to be a genius to use them. By the end of this video, you'll know how to study smarter, not longer, remember more in less time, and finally feel confident walking into your next exam. So let's begin.
If I could give you only one study technique for life, it would be this: active recall. Here's the idea. Instead of rereading your notes, you test yourself on them. You try to recall the information from memory, just like you would in an exam. It sounds simple, but it's backed by hundreds of scientific studies, including research from Harvard and MIT. Students who used active recall performed up to 50% better on memory tests.
So how do you do it? After finishing a topic, close your notebook. Then ask yourself, what are the key ideas here? Can I explain this in my own words? If not, that's where you focus next. I used to make the same mistake most students do. I'd read, highlight, and feel productive, but I wasn't learning. The moment I started testing myself, even with small quizzes or flashcards, everything changed. Because your brain remembers what it struggles to recall. That's how learning actually happens.
Now that you know how to study, let's talk about when. Most students cram. They try to learn everything the night before an exam. And sure, it might work short-term, but by next week, you forget almost all of it. Spaced repetition fixes that. It's a simple method used by Harvard medical students and top memory experts.
Here's how it works. Instead of reviewing a topic once, you review it multiple times, with increasing gaps between each session. For example, study a topic today, review it after 1 day, then after 3 days, then after 7 days, and finally after 14 days.
Each time you revisit, your brain strengthens the memory, like building layers of concrete. Apps like Anki or Notion flashcards use this exact principle. But even if you use a notebook, just mark review dates at the top of each page. Remember, learning isn't about repetition. It's about timed repetition. Have you ever noticed how top students seem to connect ideas across subjects easily? That's because they don't study in blocks. They study in patterns. Let me explain. Most of us study one topic for hours, like doing 20 math problems of the same type in a row. That's called blocked practice. It feels efficient, but your brain switches off because it already knows what's coming. Interleaving, on the other hand, means mixing different types of problems or topics in a single session. It forces your brain to constantly adapt, improving problem solving and recall. Harvard research shows students who use interleaving retain 30 to 40% more than those who don't. So if you're studying math, don't just do algebra for an hour. Do 20 minutes of algebra, 20 minutes of geometry, 20 minutes of word problems. Or if you're preparing for biology, mix diagrams, flashcards, and short explanations together. It might feel harder, but that's the point. That mental stretch is what makes you stronger.
Now let's talk about focus. You can know every technique in the world, but if you can't focus, it's useless. And that's where deep work comes in. This concept, popularized by Harvard professor Cal Newport, means doing high-focus work for short, undistracted periods.
Think of it as 50 minutes of pure focus, followed by a 10-minute break.
During those 50 minutes, no phone, no multitasking, no background noise. Just one clear goal: learn deeply.
Here's a small story. When I first tried deep work, I could barely go 15 minutes without checking my phone. But after a week, I started to notice something strange. My study sessions felt shorter, and I was getting more done. Because distraction steals not just your time, but your mental energy.
So next time you sit to study, try this. Set a 50-minute timer. Put your phone in another room. Pick one chapter and give it your full attention. Do this every day, even for 1 hour, and within a month, your focus will feel completely different.
Now, let's talk about a few mistakes students often make when trying these techniques. Using too many methods at once. Start with one, maybe active recall, and build from there.
Not tracking progress. Keep a small study journal. Write what worked and what didn't. Chasing perfection. You don't need a perfect study system, just a consistent one. And one more thing, don't compare your pace with others. Everyone learns differently. Your progress is your own. Let's quickly recap the 4 Harvard study tips that can help you become a top student. Active recall. Learn by testing yourself, not rereading. Spaced repetition. Review with time gaps to lock knowledge in long-term memory. Interleaving. Mix different topics to boost understanding and adaptability. Deep work. Focus completely for short, powerful sessions. These aren't just study hacks. They're habits that reshape how your brain learns.
So here's my challenge to you. Pick one of these methods and apply it today, even for just 20 minutes. Because improvement doesn't happen overnight. It happens the moment you decide to change your approach.
And if this video helped you see studying differently, make sure to like, share, and subscribe so more students can discover what actually works. Remember, you don't need to be born a genius. You just need to study like one. See you in the next video.